Hi everyone, welcome back. And today's topic is we are going to understand what we mean by unpacking of tuples. And also we're going to see certain functions of tuples. So the first point we are going to look at is unpacking of tuples, and then the functions like the max function, min function, and the index function. Index function is basically a method. So I've written over here, so I've typed it a method because it is associated with the object tuple. Okay, and then we are going to see that is the count function. Okay, actually count is also a method. I just forgot to type over here. Even this is a method. So one by one we are going to see how this works. Okay, so immediately we will start, and I'll just delete this. Okay, so suppose if I have a tuple and we have elements like these. Okay, so this basically we say that this is called as packing of tuples, packing of tuples. Okay, and unpacking is done in a way where we can have each element into a separate variable. So if I say a comma b comma c comma t, and if I simply say t, so what this will do is a will get assigned to, sorry, 1 will get assigned to the variable a, 2 will get assigned to b, 3 to c, and 4 to d in a sequence. Okay, so if I try to print a, just copy this, okay, and paste it. Okay, and I just replace this variable, that is b, c, and d. If I run this, I'll get the elements, that is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this process, what we have done over here, is called as unpacking of tuples. Okay, so this is called as unpacking, but make sure that we have exact number of variables of what we have, the number of elements in the tuples. So if there are 4 elements in the tuples, we should have 4 variables. Okay, so if I try to have one more variable over here, okay, now there are 5 variables. So you can see that it will throw an error because it is expecting 4 variables basically, because there are 4 elements in the tuples. Okay, so this process is called as unpacking. You can have any elements. If I just give my name and try to print it, so it will work finely. Okay, so this is called as unpacking of tuples. Okay, now let us understand the max function. So max function basically will calculate the max value in the tuple. We have to pass the tuple to the function, and it will calculate the max value from the function, from the tuple. Okay, and the condition is for the max function is that we should have the same number of data types in the tuples. So over here, if we have, there are 3 numbers and 1 there is a string, so this will not work. This will basically throw an error. Okay, so the first condition is we should have same data types. So I'll just replace this with 3, and so simple you can guess it that this will actually return, that is the number 4, because this is the maximum value. So it will return this value, and I collect that into I, and then I print it. Okay, so you can see the output, we will get the value, that is 4. And similarly we have the min function. So min function will calculate the min value. So see over here, that is 1. Okay, but what if I have strings, that is my name Ajay, then I can have a name like Aditya, then maybe name like Nitin, and last I will just take Vijay. Okay, so I'll just remove this. Okay, now these are strings. Now how the comparison will be done? Suppose if I make this as max first, so how we will get the output, how it will check for the max value among the string. So if you can remember, in my previous tutorial that I told you that these characters also, these characters actually has the ASCII values, like the small a starts from 97, right, and the capital A starts from 65. Okay, so the ASCII values gets compared over here. So if we see these strings, first let us see the output, what exactly output we get. So possibly we'll get the output that is Vijay. Now this is because V, if we say A and A, this has the value that is 97. So forget this 2. With the first character, now N and V, now these are having the higher ASCII values, and among these two, V has the higher ASCII value. So if you want to print the ASCII value, I will just do it this way. That is N is equal to, and I say ORD function, which will tell you the ASCII value of the character N. Okay, I'll just copy this, and then we'll print for even for V, and now you can see the ASCII values that we will have. So the ASCII value of N is 110, and for V it is 118. So this has the higher ASCII value, that is 118, isn't it? So we had this output that is Vijay. Okay, so what if I make this as A and even this as A? Now in this situation, the first characters are all equal, isn't it? So it will go for the second character. So J, D, I and I will get compared over here. So if you try to guess, okay, over here I'll just make this, at this point I will make this as K, put it as K. Okay, so J, D, K and I will get compared. So can you guess what will be the ASCII value? We will have A and K. Okay, now let us print why we have this. This J, D had a lower ASCII value. The comparison was done between I and K. So let me just print the ASCII value of K and the ASCII value of I. I'll just replace this. Okay, and you can see that the ASCII value of K is 107 and I it is 105. So this has the higher ASCII value. So we had the output as AKTIN. Okay, now what if we had this previous situation, that is AI. Okay, AI. Now if you see the second character, first characters are equal, so it will go for the second character. So J and I, and over here I had again I and I. So what happens over here is, okay, since J has a higher ASCII value, we will see the output for this first. Okay, so we will simply have the value that is AJ, AY. Since this has a higher ASCII value than D, then I and I, so we had the output as AJ, AY. Okay, let me make this as even this as I. Okay, even this as I. So this D has a lower ASCII value as compared to the other three. Now what will happen, first we will see the output over here. Okay, and then I will explain you. This is AITIN. Now why we had this output is because out of these three strings, okay, since the second character is all equal, right, so it will go for the third character, that is A, okay, then T and then J. So if you see among this A, T and J, T has the higher ASCII value, isn't it? So I'll just print the ASCII values so that you'll understand the ASCII values. And over here, okay, I'll just print T and it was a J. Okay, and I will print over here J. Okay, so if you see the output, we have T has higher ASCII value, that is 116, and J has 106. So we had the output as AITIN. So simple logic that we have is we have to just go on comparing the first characters, and if the first characters are equal, then go on comparing with the second characters and just see the character which has the highest ASCII value, and this is how you can get the output. Similarly, opposite of that, we will have min. So if you had min, so in this case it should give me that is Aditya, because if you see, this is second character is I, this is D, and this is I and I. So D has the lower ASCII value, so it gave the output as Aditya, isn't it? So this is how it works. So next is the index method. So index method, basically it works with the tuple. It's a function associated with tuple, and it will give me the ASCII, sorry, not the ASCII, it will give me the index value of the element in the tuple. Okay, so if we have this, so this has 0 1 2 AITIN, so this should give me the value that is 0 1 2. Index value starts from 0 1 and 2, so it should give me 2. Okay, so here it is 2. So this is so simple, it just gives the index value, whatever value you specify. But what if I don't have any x, y, z? Now that does not exist, isn't it? So in that case, it will throw an error. Okay, so this is how it works. So next is we are going to understand the count method. Now the count method is something like, for example, if I have okay, if I make this as AJAY, and over here also I have AJAY, so the AJ element is occurring twice, so it will actually count how many times that element is repeating in that particular tuple. So if I give here AJAY, okay, if I run this, and you can see the output we will have is 2, because AJ element is twice in this tuple. Okay, so if I give some other numbers like 4 5, then 4 4, then 6. Okay, now let me calculate one more 4. Let me calculate over here, I'll pass as 4. Okay, so if you see 4 is 1 2 3 and 4 times it is occurring, so the answer will be also 4. You can see over here, if I have one more, that is one more 4, so the answer will be 5. You can see over here. Okay, so this is how the count method works. So count is a method, index is a method, and the rest two that we have seen, that is a max and min, those are predefined functions in Python. Okay, so this is how it works, so you can practice it. Bye for now.